This video is going to show the same state cop that hid my stabbing and triple attempted murder go on to hide another double hit job, then round it out by hiding a murder with a successful cover-up.
This is exactly how you guys hid my stabbing. Do you see that? An entire barracks of you guys didn't see it. And then lost 2 CCTVs of it.
So I became a civil activist because I got stabbed by a local crony and had the entire establishment cover it up because I was an out-of-town veteran. I have severe high-functioning PTSD, and I gotta walk around town bumping into this guy, still armed with the pistol that I disarmed him of before he chased me down and stabbed me.
So how'd you get off for stabbing me?
Well, I'm not off. I actually...
Yeah, you got off with murder pulling your pistol on me.
Well, I'm sorry.
So you're
I've more than enough covered this in my other videos. So the quick rundown is that Pennsylvania State Police Trooper Cameron Beck lost 2 Walmart CCTVs of the incident so that he could completely engineer the police report to affect the outcome of the charges.
This is his police report where I disarm Kessler of his pistol. This is where I run away. This is where Kessler chases me down with 2 knives, and then I viciously attack him with a plastic cigarette butt holder that wasn't nailed down in front of the store. This is my charge of felony aggravated assault for running away and fending the guy off with a plastic cigarette butt holder, only getting stabbed once. And this is his charge of felony aggravated assault for pulling his pistol on me, then chasing me down with 2 knives and stabbing me.
If I would have testified against Glenn Kessler, the state was going to uphold my felony charges. So I pled out to disorderly conduct to avoid a $30,000 felony defense in a rigged court.
Which lets Kessler plead out to disorderly conduct and advanced rehabilitative disposition, a records wipe for first-time low-blow DUI offenders, illegal for violent offenders.
So I've gone way further into this in my other videos, but this event right here, how well the system engineered this, how blatantly Pennsylvania State Police Trooper Cameron Beck hid my attempted murder.
Stabbing? What stabbing? I didn't see no stabbing. That was a simple case of disorderly conduct involving 3 deadly weapons.
This told me that this ain't the first time he done this. This is a well-oiled machine. So I set out to find others that they've done this to, which leads me to a case involving the president of the county bar's daughter. This is the case I was investigating when I got arrested at the courthouse.
Then had my iPhone seized for trespassing, tracked it to the president of the county bar's office on Find My iPhone app, then had a special agent that lives right here in the same town wipe the location data from my phone with a blanket out-of-jurisdiction warrant.
Again, my other videos cover this much more in depth. But what y'all didn't know is that this 4-year-long divorce was the result of a failed hit attempt on husband's life, covered up by the same state police trooper that hid my stabbing, Trooper Cameron Beck.
Hit job? What hit job? I didn't see no hit job.
Check out this police report where husband's brakes were cut in a parking lot while he was having dinner with a new acquaintance after the divorce.
So this is a criminal complaint from Mount Holly Springs Police Department where this incident occurs on January 3rd, 2019. Acquaintance and Kelly Ratowski, ex-husband in the divorce from the president of the county bar's daughter, were eating for 1 to 2 hours and returned to find their truck's brake line had been cut.
Now pay attention to this next part because this is proof of Pennsylvania State Police Trooper Cameron Beck's involvement.
Her ex has been threatening for weeks that he's gonna kill her. On December 17th, he even told his boss, whom called Pennsylvania State Police and reported it. Do you see here right at the end where the Mount Holly Springs police officer says he received a copy of that report from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania State Police Office? This is the only physical evidence of that report existing.
Obviously, her ex-husband is spiraling out of control and needs help to protect himself from others. But Trooper Cameron Beck fails to act. Even our victim's advocate fails to return her calls about a restraining order.
And the Victims Advocacy Center, and they basically told me that the police aren't doing anything to enforce the PFAs, and they suggest me to move.
the victim's witness director, Cindy Keeney, doesn't call me back. She doesn't contact me back.
You need an appointment to get in to see her.
So you feel, does that feel like it's gatekeeping to you, Rick?
I have no idea, Jake. You would have to talk to victim witness about it.
But she won't talk to me. It's the Victims' Rights Awareness Week, and she won't even talk to me.
Cindy Keeney, this bitch works for the DA, so it's no wonder that they conspired together to make this happen. So basically, at face value, this just looks like a simple case of police negligence resulting in a double attempted homicide. But what y'all didn't know is that this was perpetrated by the president of the county bar's daughter, Julie Ratowski.
And there goes defendant daughter. Ooh, she looks like a good time in a bad town. But distances can be deceiving. See, here she is up close in this Facebook Messenger 4 days before the hit, posing for a picture with the ex-husband that's about to do it. This is spiraling ex-husband taunting his ex-wife about getting together with Julie, saying, "I have a friend too that has a family of attorneys," referring to the president of the county bar's law firm. Here's the ex-wife's reply. "Yeah, really bad ones. But having her bring you to help stalk me out, you're gonna need a lawyer."
She's referring to Julie being an accessory to stalking before the hit job.
And that family lawyer jab provokes a retaliatory response, obviously from Julie, whom actually goes on to identify herself in the messages, then clearly states that she sought him out, admitting to being an accessory for the stalking and the following hit job.
This all takes place 4 days before the hit job. But because it involves the president of the county bar's daughter, Trooper Cameron Beck refuses to act.
Accomplice? What accomplice? I didn't see no accomplice. That was a simple act of vandalism. I got real miters to cover up.
Good point, Cammy. So, not less than 3 months later, Trooper Cameron Beck goes on to hide my triple attempted murder.
Stabbing? What stabbing? I didn't see no stabbing. That was a random act of disorderly conduct. I got real miters to cover up.
Again, good point, Cammy. Just 4 months after he hides my triple attempted murder and stabbing, he finally gets the chance to cover up a full-blown murder.
This is the story of Judd Phillip Reasner, whom was found unconscious on the side of a country road during Gettysburg's Bike Week. See here? Trooper Cameron Beck investigating.
Judd passed away later that night from blunt force trauma to the head. Knowing that Trooper Cameron Beck is the investigating officer, I actually covered this in one of my earlier videos.
Do you think Trooper Beck would investigate or report it? Do you now see the problem employing an investigator who's compromised?
And it was like I was reading the future.
Our coroner calls the investigation as accidental, believing he fell out of a moving car. According to state police, there didn't appear to be any foul play.
Where's his fucking car? If he was riding in someone else's car, what happened to the driver when he lost his passenger? A passenger found breathing that later died.
Miter? What miter? I didn't see no miter. He fell out of his car and it drove itself back home on autopilot.
Y'all ready for the real story? Judd was involved in a bar fight up county with some one-percenters during Gettysburg's Bike Week. Trooper Cameron Beck responding to that.
So, when Judd winds up dying on the side of the road that same night, why is Trooper Cameron Beck asking the public for information?
It's so that he can gatekeep any public knowledge of the case.
Rough.
That police report of the bar fight went the way of the dodo. Just like the police report of the hit job where the only evidence that exists is in a different police report.
Y'all, the people that know about this case are terrified. Nobody will come forward in public. And I'm looking at 5 years in the state pen with the kind of guys that commit murder for the cops and can expect the cops to cover it up. So what do?
Well, I reported to the state police internal affairs. And if you didn't believe me, here's my confirmation email saying it's been forwarded to the correct office.
Along the way, I'd gotten a tip to report it to one of the straight shooters up there, a certain Captain Bluegis. So I follow up with a phone call to internal affairs and try to get in contact with him.
And I'm gatekeeped by Trooper Matthew Barrett, who wants to know how I came to know about Captain Bluegis and is back-checking me for more information. He's the one that tells me if State Rep Dan Mao tells them to investigate that they will.
So you can take your
You spoke.
turn around and go somewhere else.
This is the support that I get for getting stabbed
That's the support you
in
get.
Gettysburg. I'm not making a scene here. I'm looking for help from my state representative.
There's nothing I can do.
You can call the state police. You can call the state police, and
The state police.
they said that if you called, they would investigate.
No, they didn't.
I'm seeking your help as my state representative. You can call the internal affairs.
That's out of my scope of authority.
It is out of your scope of authority to care that one of your veterans got stabbed.
But to get into
There's nothing you can do. It's not a criminal investigation. They stopped it. They pulled it.
I think we're done here. You can go bother somebody else now.
I'm bothering you.
Yeah, now you're starting to...
I'm bothering.
So what do I do now? Contact the FBI?
I regularly update the FBI about the state police pedophile scandal. So I got to rapping about my new findings, and I got on to how the cops used the real estate racket to defraud banks. And that's why they threw the pedophile investigation. This FBI agent I was on the phone with did a Scooby-Doo trying to smash the phone down as fast as he could.
Well, that doesn't work. That office is staffed by Pennsylvanians, so I contact the National Department of Justice whistleblower website,
whom initially loses my electronically submitted complaint about Pennsylvania State Police hiding murders, but when I stay on it, finally puts me in touch with a Pennsylvania prosecutor whom takes no action.
Our system is blatantly broken. I cover the mechanisms pretty well in my video here, disqualifying Judd for pedo connections. So what do I do next to remedy this situation? Nobody we pay to do this will even address this massive public safety issue, and are even going so far as to suppress murders.
You're part of a terrorist organization.
I'll tell you what one guy did. He shot up the Pennsylvania State Police outside their barracks.
This is the story of Eric Freen, whom ambushed 2 Pennsylvania State cops with an assault rifle, killing one of them.
Now, I don't preach nor condone violence. We're upset when the police do it to us. And I've personally lived in many failed states. Believe me, you don't want violence around your family. Plus, it doesn't work. Let me show you why.
Out of thousands of news articles detailing his evasion and capture, nobody ever says why he did this, with internet rumors centered around unchecked state police abuse of his sister. Don't think for a second that these cops aren't capable of covering these kind of things up. This AP story comes from the 911 dispatcher whom during the ambush risks her own life to retrieve the wounded trooper. This gal is a hero. Apparently she was previously raped by a trooper, and when she demanded that the trooper be charged, they launched an investigation onto her. They sent troopers to her home to have her involuntarily committed to a psychiatric facility or forcibly committed and fired. When her attorney asked how such an improper commitment could happen, a state police official said, "We take care of our own." Think I'm bullshitting? This case settled out in federal court. Your tax dollars paid to make this okay, and still with no criminal charges.
Because a state police trooper had to get his dick wet by raping a 911 operator, and nobody would hold him accountable, the entire system is engineered to pervert justice outside the public eye. So, is this the first time y'all hearing about this? Obviously, Eric Freen's idea to commit violence to bring attention to this doesn't work. Let me show you why.
Believe me when I say this, because I actually went to school for it on the GI Bill before I went back to work for our nation's defense.
The feds define terrorism as the use or threat of force to coerce public opinion. Flying planes into the Twin Towers did nothing to affect our nation's defense network. But it was a successful terrorist attack because it conveyed a message to the public. You're not safe in your backyard. Keywords: successful attack, conveyed message.
Eric Freen conducted a domestic terrorist attack in an attempt to convey a message. Look at these state cops getting away with rape.
But we never get to hear a word about it. You want to know why? Successful attack, conveyed message. One of our state mechanisms to defeat terrorism is to prevent that message. Don't believe me?
Why did that dude in that Vegas hotel room shoot up over 500 people? Why did that dude blow up his RV in the middle of Nashville?
Want to know why BLM and the storming of the Capitol building produced 0 results? Because some of these actors did commit violence, which allowed the state mechanism to paint everything with an extremist brush so that Middle America wouldn't get the message. Keywords: Middle America wouldn't get the message. So what do we do now?
By the power of analysis!
We do exactly what the adversaries to liberty, the establishment, don't want us to do. Convince Middle America that we need a change. And how do we do that? Well, it's gonna take you. It starts in your locality with your district attorney playing gatekeeper in your jurisdiction. They are the politicians that go on to staff the federal courts, in charge of overseeing the same system they were just playing gatekeeper for. My channel has the entire system laid bare for Middle America to see how weaponized the judicial system has become, directed at one of its own veterans. And it's kind of douchey to parade around a title.
The Honorable Judge Albert Maslin.
But my status as a veteran plucks on that same Middle American heartstring that throws blinders up to police misconduct. It also touches on my main message.
Every single individual in our group is a normal person that would not believe it until it happened to them. And if it can happen to a heroin 911 operator that risked her life to save a wounded trooper during a terrorist attack, and
if it can happen to me, it sure as shit can happen to you. So I'm looking at 5 years for standing in the same public building that my assailant illegally pled out the disorderly conduct for stabbing me, doing time in the state pen with the same guys that commit murder and have the cops cover it up.
Man, it doesn't matter if they're rapists or murderers. We take care of our own.
I need y'all's help getting this out. I need people beating down independent press's doors to cover this. Share my best videos and take notes on how I went about exposing my local regime. And if I don't go to jail, I'll have time to roll out how-to videos on how I exposed my local regime. We're going to have to convince middle America to enact change. And it starts with you.